Today we are jumping right into the deep end of high-stakes project management. We're going to follow a day in the life of Gotham, a senior project manager, to see exactly how he handles the incredible pressure of his job.
So, let's set the stage. What are the stakes we're talking about? Gotham is in charge of a single commercial building project. The value? A cool 45 crore rupees.
And yeah, let's be super clear about that. That's not his whole portfolio for the year. That is the price tag for just one building he's leading right now. I mean, just let the weight of that number sink in for a second. But it's not just about the money, right? There's the human side of things. Every single day, you've got over 250 workers on that site. Seriously, try to picture that. Put yourself in his shoes. The safety, the paychecks, the actual lives of more than 250 people are riding on the decisions you make every hour of every day. So that leads us to the million-dollar question, doesn't it? How on earth do you juggle that kind of financial and human responsibility without just completely crashing and burning? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down. All right, so let's first dig into the sheer weight of this role, because it's about so much more than just, putting up a building. Think of it like this. Gotham is juggling 5 critical pillars constantly. You've got structural integrity, making sure this thing is safe for decades to come. Then there's managing the timeline and the budget so that 45 crore investment doesn't just spiral out of control. Worker safety, well, that's an absolute non-negotiable both morally and legally. And finally, quality assurance, making sure the client gets exactly what they paid for. You drop any one of those balls and you're looking at a potential catastrophe. Now here's where it gets really interesting. No matter how perfectly you plan, chaos is basically a guarantee. Every single day, Gotham is hit with 5, maybe 10 completely unexpected problems. The real skill isn't trying to avoid the chaos, it's mastering your response to it. So check this out. Here's a perfect real-world example. The blueprints show the air conditioning ducts and the main electrical lines trying to occupy the exact same space. It seems like a small detail, but oops, that one little clash could shut down a whole section of the project and cause a 2-day delay. And on a project this big, a 2-day delay is incredibly expensive. So does he panic? Nope, he has a protocol. He uses this 5-step process to bring order to the chaos. First, he gets the HVAC and electrical guys together to fully understand the problem. Then, they figure out a solution, in this case, just rerouting one of the systems. Step 3, he calculates the exact cost impact. 4, he updates the master timeline, and only then, with all the facts in hand, does he go inform the client. See? It's methodical, not emotional. And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? The problems are going to happen. The design clashes, the supply chain delays, the bad weather, it's all coming for you. The only thing you truly have power over is your own calm, systematic, and strategic response. Okay, so if reacting to chaos is one half of the job, what's the other? It's all about being proactive. So let's look at the playbook Gotham uses to stop chaos from even getting a foothold in the first place. Now, documentation might not sound glamorous, but trust me, it is the absolute bedrock of control. The daily reports track every little thing. Progress photos? They're your undeniable proof when a dispute comes up. Safety logs don't just record accidents. They track the near misses so you can prevent the real thing from happening. And of course, material and labor logs keep that budget in check. Good documentation is basically your shield. And let's not forget, a huge part of the job happens away from the construction site. We're talking about client management. Think about it. A client has handed you 45 crores. Every single conversation you have has to build their confidence that their investment is safe, especially when things go wrong. And that's why his updates aren't just some casual phone call. They are structured. He gives them a balanced report. He covers the good news, the progress, and the budget to show things are on track. But he also proactively points out the risks to show he's thinking 3 steps ahead. That approach builds way more trust than just pretending everything is perfect all the time. Which brings us to what might be the most important system of all, the system for managing yourself. In a career this intense, your personal well-being isn't some luxury. It is the absolute foundation for being able to perform at a high level, day in and day out. Gotham's day kicks off with a workout. It's only 20 minutes, but it is non-negotiable. And this isn't really about building muscle. It's about building mental resilience. It's the fuel he needs to get through a 12-hour day of non-stop problem solving. On a construction site, the pressure is just relentless. That's why these little strategic micro breaks are so incredibly powerful.
Just 10 minutes during lunch, away from the noise, not checking your phone. It's a tiny reset that fends off that long-term, soul-crushing burnout.
Now this is brilliant. The commute home isn't just dead time, it's a crucial transition period. He uses that time to actively shut down his project manager brain, maybe by listening to music or a podcast. This way, when he walks in his front door, he's actually present for his family.
And that leads to this really powerful idea. Your family chose you, not your high-stress career. It takes real discipline to leave work at work and protect that personal time. Being present at home is just as important as hitting any project milestone. And finally, sleep. You can't make sharp, high-stakes decisions when you're exhausted. It's that simple. Gotham sees his 8 hours of sleep not as a reward, but as essential maintenance for his most important tool, his brain. You just can't manage a 45-core project on 4 hours of sleep. It's just not going to work. So when you lay it all out, you're looking at a pretty clear choice. There's the path of the constant 60-hour work week, which feels productive but really just leads to sloppy work, mistakes, and eventually burnout. Or there's the sustainable pace, built on all these little disciplines, which leads to great work, a long career, and, a life you actually want to live.
Because in the end, the real project isn't the building. It's building a career and a life that can actually handle the pressure. So the real question to ask yourself is, what's your foundation? What are the non-negotiable systems you're putting in place to make sure you don't just survive, but thrive?
Like, share, and subscribe to ConnectNBuild to be a part of our team.